The Arizona Wildcats win this game against the Colorado Buffaloes. Final score 63. Arizona Wildcats 63 to the Colorado Buffaloes 43. What Colorado Buffaloes were doing is they had Xavier Johnson and they had Askia Booker, and they were the ones that actually scored the most points for Colorado Buffaloes. So Askia Booker had 12 and then Johnson had 11. But the thing about Booker, what Booker was doing is he was dribble penetrating, and whenever he was dribble penetrating, then he was drawing those fouls, getting he was drawing fouls, and Caleb Tarczewski from the Arizona Wildcats had 3. T.J. McConnell had 3 fouls, and Rondé Hollis-Jefferson had 3 fouls. And so what Askia Booker was doing right there at the end of the first half is he was dribble penetrating and he was drawing those fouls, and whenever he drew those fouls, then our guys started to get in foul trouble, and so it was kind of a dangerous territory. The Arizona Wildcats started getting in foul trouble, and so it was kind of dangerous territory. But for some reason, Askia Booker from the Colorado Buffaloes stopped doing that. Maybe he got blocked a few times. I don't know, because if you get blocked whenever you're trying to dribble penetrate, or you get the ball stolen when you're trying to dribble penetrate, then it kind of takes away your motivation to dribble penetrate. And so if you look at the amount of blocks that the Colorado Buffaloes, they had 1 block, and the Arizona Wildcats had 5 blocks total. Aaron Gordon had 3 of those blocks, and as far as the steals, the Colorado Buffaloes had 3 steals, while the Arizona Wildcats had 7 steals. Again, Aaron Gordon was fantastic as far as getting those steals. He blocked. He had 3 steals and he had 3 blocks. The turnovers. That was another thing that was killing the Arizona Wildcats right in the beginning, because we were still ahead. The Arizona Wildcats were ahead in the beginning by a very small margin, but the first thing I knew, before I knew anything, we had 3 turnovers, and the Colorado Buffaloes had 0 turnovers, and 3 of those turnovers were on Caleb Tarczewski. So maybe he was rattled right in the beginning. Maybe that's what it was. Caleb Tarczewski ended up with 6 turnovers, and the next person that got the most turnovers was Aaron Gordon with 2 turnovers. So anyway, that was once they got once they started to turn the tide with the turnovers, then it started to point more in the Arizona Wildcats' favor, and whenever it started to point in the Arizona Wildcats' favor, then it fell apart for the Colorado Buffaloes. The amount of rebounds, total rebounds, was 41. Arizona Wildcats 41 rebounds, total rebounds, and the total rebounds for the Colorado Buffaloes was 25. I think offensive rebounds are very, very helpful. And what do you know? Who showed up for the most strongest amount of offensive rebounds but Aaron Gordon? I think Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. I've been noticing that Rondé Hollis-Jefferson makes such a contribution whenever he gets offensive rebounds, and whenever he can get an assist in there. Also, I think that's really helpful. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson had 1 assist, but he had 8 total rebounds, 3 of them were offensive, and 5 of them were defensive. The free throw shooting was not that great, but Rondé Hollis-Jefferson did make 4 out of 4 from free throw land. So he shot really good. He shot 100%, but the total amount of free throws for the Arizona Wildcats was 11 out of 16, so they shot 68% from free throw land. Now, I'm going off on the ESPN stats here, so the Arizona men's basketball live stats might be a little bit different or the Yahoo Sports stats, or the sporting news stats. All those things might be a little bit different, so that's what I'm using here. So another thing that was really good in Colorado Buffalo's favor was they shot 50% from three-point land, and that's one thing that it seems like the Arizona Wildcats always have a pretty difficult time defending the three-pointer. And the Arizona Wildcats actually shot only 35% from three-point land. Gabe York made 1 out of 5, but he made a key three-pointer. He made a key three-pointing attempt right there at the end of the first half to kick the Arizona Wildcats up. And give the Arizona Wildcats a lead going into the halftime break, at 27-24 at half. And but then then every single free throw after that gave York not free throw, but every single three-pointer gave York after that from the Arizona Wildcats missed. But we had T.J. McConnell knock down a couple three-pointers. We had Nick Johnson knock down a couple three-pointers. Nick Johnson was 2 out of 5. I'm trying to see who was Xavier Talton from the Colorado Buffaloes was the one that made 2 out of 4 from three-point land. Let's see. Xavier Johnson had 2 out of 3. There was a point whenever the Colorado Buffaloes were going to come back. It really looked like they were coming back, and that was because Xavier Johnson was starting to feel it. He was starting to get into his groove, but he picked up 2 fouls right away, just in the second half. One right after the other, not too long right after the other one, and that kind of killed his mojo. And he ended up with 3 personal fouls total, but he just didn't. He wasn't fighting as much as he was before he picked up those 2 quick fouls. So that's one of the reasons why the Arizona Wildcats were able to pretty much dominate in the second half, and that's why the Arizona Wildcats scored 36 points in the second half, and the Colorado Buffaloes had scored 19 points in the second half. Let's see, the Arizona Wildcats shot 46%. Another thing that I wanted to say was just the contributions from Jordan Mays. He's a senior. It's nice to get him in there. At point, the Arizona Wildcats were ahead by 10 points, or actually, I think it was more than that, in the second half, with like 10 minutes left. And so I was thinking, hey, the Coach Sean Miller for the Arizona Wildcats, hey, why don't you throw in your second stringers or your bench warmers, that don't play as much, because we're going to need we're going to need contributions from everybody on the team. And of course, he didn't get all the players in there, but he got Matt Korchek in there, which is he's not a starter just yet. Elliot Pitts is not a starter just yet. But from what I heard, and Jordan Mace, who's not a starter, but Jordan Mace made 1 out of 3 from three-point land, so that was cool. And then at the end, there was I think he drew a foul on. There was a foul pulled on him, and he didn't make the first free throw, but he made the second free throw, and so I thought that was really helpful. I think that was really good for his self-confidence. He did a really nice play. He got the ball in the corner. He ran down the sideline. He used the backboard as a protection, and then he did up and under backwards, I think, with a little bit of English on the ball, and was able to get a field goal, get a dribble penetration field goal, and that was really nice. And he fell down during the execution of that play, and so that was another confidence builder, I think, for Jordan Mays, and I think that was really helpful to him. That was really nice for him to experience that. We had 1 rebound from Korchek, 2 defensive rebounds from Mays, 1 assist from Mays, 1 steal from Elliot Pitts. Let's see, 1 turnover from Pitts, but not too bad. Just the Arizona Wildcats were able to dominate, just pretty much take care of business right there in the second half after a kind of a slow start, and they seem to get their bearings straight and get balanced, and then that's when the Arizona Wildcats just kind of took off. First, they were ahead by the Arizona Wildcats were ahead by maybe 2 to 5 points for a little bit, and then the Arizona Wildcats were ahead by 8, 10 points, and then it ballooned into 12 points, and I think T.J. McConnell knocked down a 3, and it ballooned into a 15-point lead, and then it just got worse and worse and worse from there for the Colorado Buffaloes, and that's why the Arizona Wildcats were able. That's one of the reasons why the Arizona Wildcats were able to win this game. At halftime, the Arizona Wildcats had 8 turnovers, and the Colorado Buffaloes, I don't remember exactly how many turnovers. I think they had 2 turnovers. They had 2 turnovers at half, and then the Colorado Buffaloes had 7 turnovers in the second half, and the Arizona Wildcats had 4 turnovers in the second half. So that was a big thing, was the amount of turnovers, and the Arizona Wildcats were able to out-rebound the Colorado Buffaloes, and that was that knocks you down. But so the Arizona Wildcats, I think, had their most difficult time with the amount of turnovers, and that seems to be one of the Achilles heels of the Arizona Wildcats, is the amount of turnovers. So we'll see if the Arizona Wildcats play UCLA tomorrow at 3 Mountain Time on Fox Sports 1, or if they play, or if the Arizona Wildcats play Stanford for the Pac-12 championship game at 3 on Fox Sports 1 Mountain Standard Time. But the Arizona Wildcats win this game against the Colorado Buffaloes. The final score, Arizona Wildcats 63 to the Colorado Buffaloes 43.